All right. Well, first of all, welcome to my talk. I'm going to be talking about designing your tiny house. And just to get into it, here's a little bit about me. So I am Till. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Finalise, and this is my team here. So I am one of the co-founders, and my other two co-founders are Lauren and Eugene, and this is our resident office cat Mojito, and this is our developer Isaac, who's working with us as well. And to give you a bit of a backstory about me, I'm a trained architectural designer and have worked in the design industry before starting Finalise. And my two co-founders, Lauren and Eugene, they actually designed and built their own tiny house that they work and live from now as well. And we actually started in the tiny house industry 7 years ago, or Lauren and Eugene did actually. So they actually started out building and designing tiny homes together with a builder here in West Auckland. And at some point, we decided to start to help people design and build their own tiny homes with Finalise. That was around 3 years ago. And we've just seen how much work it takes to design and build a tiny house. So we wanted to make that process easier. And we initially started out making tiny house plans, similar to what Zach and Jason are doing with tinyhouseplans.com. And we're actually also selling our plans on there. But what we've done for the last 2 years, we have actually developed our own software that allows you to design and build, or not build, but design and export plans for your own tiny house that you can then take to your builder, that you can then build off or DIY off or use as inspiration so you can keep going with your design journey. And a little bit more background about us. We've designed over 100 tiny homes now over the last few years. And these are some of the designs that we've done. So you might have seen these around somewhere over the internet and Pinterest probably as well. And so what will you learn today? So to get into it, we've seen that designing your tiny house is simply one of the most important steps on your tiny house journey. If you think about it, you will be living in your tiny house for maybe a year or two. If you've got a short-term solution in mind, maybe 5-10 years, or maybe you will be living for it for most of your life, if that is your plan as well. And if you think about it, a tiny house is a small space and it needs to be perfect for you. And we want to make sure that you can design your own tiny house so it is exactly right for your unique lifestyle. And what I will be showing you today is how to go from the inspiration stage. You can already see Pinterest on there, so you probably know what that is like, and take all of your inspiration and go from a concept that you can then refine further, or you can even share with a builder, DIY of by creating plans that you can show to them, or then of course DIY of as well. And I will be showing that using our own software. So I will be live designing a tiny house in front of you, so you can just follow my own design process. It doesn't take long. That's why I can do it in the 30 minutes that we've got. Cool. And just as a reminder, this talk is for everyone. So if you are just at the start of your tiny house journey and you're just discovering what the tiny house movement is like, great. You're discovering a little bit about designing tiny homes and how that might work for you. If you are already deep in your design process and you're trying to finalize things, then this is also great for you, because you can understand how you can go to the next stage and actually create plans that you can use to show your builder or build off. Or if you are a tiny house builder listening in, this will also show you how you can efficiently design a tiny house rather than spending 50-60 hours in SketchUp or AutoCAD hacking away at plans. But you can do that in a couple of minutes, because yeah, that's what you can do if you're using the software. So make sure to stick around until the end. For everyone who's listening live, I've prepared something special, so make sure to find out what that is at the end of the talk. And of course, if we have time, I know we've got maybe 25 minutes left now, I will have a Q&A section, so make sure to put in any questions that you have into the chat, and I will get back to those as many as I can during the time that I still have. All right, let's get into it. So the first thing that you will face when you're designing your tiny house is the challenge of turning your dream into the reality of a design that you can build off. And most of the time, you will start out with something like this. So, for example, you might have started watching videos of, let's say, living big in a tiny house or tiny house expedition, or you have started to create a Pinterest board. And over time, you have accumulated 1,000 pins or something like that of tiny house designs that you love. And all of these designs are potentially going to end up in your own tiny house. but how do you move on from there? So we actually used to design tiny homes for clients as a service as well before we designed the software. And what we've seen most of the time, we would get a lot of clients come to us with a Pinterest board like this, which would be much more intense. So we would have 1,000 pins or something like that in there. And what we would do, we would always spend a lot of time refining that brief so we could actually design off that brief, but it would take us many hours to understand what is it that the client actually wants. And you will run into the same thing if you're getting your tiny house built by a builder that has a custom design process, for example. You will have your inspiration and you need to communicate that to your builder concisely, because otherwise it will just simply be difficult to explain what is it that you want. So what I would recommend when you are going into the next stages of your design journey, look through your Pinterest board or your mood board or your inspiration and refine your mood board down. So this is a refined mood board that I have created for myself for the tiny house that I'm going to be designing. And I will create a tiny house that I can live in and mainly work in, because that's what I do all the time. And I will have a small space for sleeping, a small kitchen, as well as a small bathroom. So what you can see here, there are 2 pictures for a bathroom, 2 pictures for a living room, 2 pictures for a kitchen, 2 for an exterior, and then 1 for the bedroom. So it's very concise, and I have very specific inspiration that I want to use, so I can then put that into my design. If I had 100 different images, it would be really difficult to actually create a design of that and come up with something that I like. So all of these elements that you will see here, I will be able to incorporate these more or less into the design that I will be creating. So the big question is, how do you continue? How do you go from there? So what I said before, usually you would hire a draftsperson at this point, or you would go in and learn a software like SketchUp, or you would try to make it work in traditional CAD softwares like Revit, but you don't want to become a professional draftsperson. So what we've done is we created our own tiny house design tool or software, and it's called the 3D Tiny House Designer. And it works both in the metric and imperial system. And I know most of you will probably be using the imperial system. So you can also design tiny homes with it in the US. And the way that it works, it's a super simple drag and drop system. It's kind of like playing Sims, but in the end, you end up with a tiny house in 3D that you can walk through, and you drop in things like cabinets, your furniture, your windows and doors, and you have tools like the trailer tool or the shell tool or the roof tool, which is all you need to design a tiny house. And what you would usually run through when you are in a traditional drafting process, you would have to create plans like the ones that you see on the right here. But this is not something that a draftsperson created, it's something that the software creates for you. So what you do, you simply click the Generate Plans button, and the software creates a full set of tiny house plans for you based on your custom design. And it has all of the dimensions that you need to build your tiny house, and it includes plans like the floor plans, the elevations or side views, sections, and even the window and door schedule. And we have even built this further for tiny house builders. So it even includes things like the electrical, deck tools, the takeoff to get all of the materials for quoting. We can render with it now as well. And it even exports to SketchUp if you want to convert the 3D model if you are a builder. So it is quite in-depth, but it's a tool specifically made for tiny homes. So let's get into the fun stuff. Let's start to design a tiny house. All right, so I'm just going to stop this presentation here, and I'm going to jump into the software. So this is the 3D Tiny House Designer, and I'm going to start by creating a new design. So let's call this one here Tiny House Conference. There we go, conference, if I can spell, perfect. And I will use the imperial system to get started, because that's what most of you guys will be familiar with probably. Again, you can choose whatever works for you. And I'm going to pick a 20-foot long trailer. I will make it 10 feet wide, and it will have a double level so you can fit a loft into it. And I will choose a 4-inch wall thickness. Just as a quick reminder, this is just the start. When you're configuring your tiny house, you can change all of this later. It's just a good starting point so you can put down a basic design. Now I'll choose a gable roof and a 35-degree angle, and there we go. Now we've got our basic tiny house. So I'll just quickly click this tutorial reminder away because I already know how the software works. And I'm going to go in and change the axle of this down to a 2-axle trailer because it is a small tiny house. We don't need 3 wheels for it. And I will maybe move the axle back a little bit so we have some more space and it's fully centered. So now what I will do, I will go in and create the design. So it looks like the zoom bar is just hiding what I've got planned here. So I'm just going to close some things down. There we go. So I will look into my presentation and I will look at my inspiration. So for the exterior, I want to have this kind of minimalistic modern exterior with 2 large windows, which will be for my working area. So I'm just going to go in and grab an exterior door, and I'll grab a bifold door, and I'll just pop the door onto the exterior, and I'll change the door to a 6'8" width, which will just give it a nice square look. And I will just move it 2 feet away from that edge here, and I'll grab this door again. I'll just copy it over, and I'll move it over a bit, and again have that 2-inch gap here over there. Perfect. So now we already have that exterior, and I can go in to start modifying my interior. So I'll just disable the exterior here for now so I can look inside, and I want to create a small little bathroom like this here. So it's a similar layout like this. So you've got a door and a bathroom behind and a loft on top. So I'm just going to recreate this. So I'll go into my walls and grab a wall like this. It's 60 inches big, but I'll just change it to, let's say, 7 feet for now, and I will have a 5-foot gap here. So we have a pretty purpose-built tiny house, and we don't need a lot of we don't need that much intricate design here, so we can actually have a bit of a bigger bathroom. So I'm going to go in now and grab a shower. So I'll grab this shower here, and I'll just rotate it and push it into the corner. So it's already 5 feet, so it fits perfectly. And now I will grab a vanity. So I'll just grab this preset here. So it's a floating vanity, and I'll change it over to a 2 feet width like that. And now I will grab a storage unit, probably with some drawers in it as well, so we can have some storage for my towels, and I'll make it 1.5 feet deep like that. Perfect. So now we've got some storage in here as well, and we cannot forget the toilet, because that would be a pretty sad bathroom otherwise. So I'll just grab a composting toilet here, and I'll just push it into the corner. All right, so we've got our bathroom design. I'll just quickly push the height of this cabinet down a little bit because we will put a loft over it as well. Now I'm going to grab a loft panel, and I will resize it to 9 feet and 4 inches because that's what the interior width of the tiny house is. I already knew that beforehand, and I'll make this one square as well so we have a bit of space for my loft. And now I will go and grab a bed. So I'll grab a queen size bed. So all of these are preset to the standard sizes, so you don't have to go on dimensions.com to understand how big everything is. So it will just speed up your design journey. And in my bedroom, I want to have this dark green kind of style for my bed. So I'll just click on my bed and give it a green sheet here like this, so I can match that style as well. All right, perfect. And now I will disable this loft here for now. Oops, that's the roof. There we go, the loft. And I will still want to grab an interior door, so a cavity slider or pocket door. That's what we call them in the US as well. So we'll make this 2 feet and 4 inches like that, so it fits perfectly into the gap. And now I will grab some cabinets to start building my kitchen. And I will go into my cabinet library, and I will start with an oven and a gas hob like this, and I will just pop it into the corner. And now I'm going to go and grab a left door cabinet. So this might have the space for an integrated fridge in here, so like a little bar fridge or something like that. And then I'm going to grab a sink. There we go. And I'll pop it next to the other cabinet as well, and I'll grab a triple drawer like that. And I'm just pressing R on my keyboard, which is just a shortcut to quickly rotate a cabinet or any object, and then I'll just push it in here. So the last thing that I still need to do is add some overhead cabinets because I want to replicate this design here, or actually these are both very similar. But I will just grab a wall hung cabinet here with a top hung hinge, and I will make this only 2 feet tall, and I will pop it next to the wall like that. And now I'm just going to copy it over and use my dimension tool here to just place it accurately again. Because in the end, if you have a drag and drop system, you also want to be accurate at the same time. So we have those dimension callers to show you exactly where everything is. in 3D space. And now I will pop my cabinets in here as well. All right, so that is my kitchen done. And now I will go and activate my loft again. So now we can see the loft has perfectly fit over that kitchen. So now I'm gonna go and grab, what I'm gonna grab? I want to grab a bench seat that will go this way. So I'll go into my storage and grab a bench seat like this. And you can still put some cushions on top later if you want to, but this is just the actual structural bit. That's the way that you're gonna build it. And there we go. Now we've got a bench seat with lots of storage underneath, and I'm going to go and grab a table that I can work at and also eat at, because that is important. And we'll maybe make this 6 feet long and 3.5 feet deep like that. It's a pretty huge table, but I want to make sure that I have lots of space for everything that I want to use this table for. Now I can add a couple of chairs like that, maybe even one on the other side here. Perfect. All right. And now I still want to add a ladder so I can get to the loft. So I'll go into my stairs and ladders here, and I'll grab a sliding ladder so I can go. And this is one that's on a moving bit, so I can move that around if I want to as well. All right. So we've designed the basic layout of my tiny house. And now all I still want to do is, I realize I haven't added a window to the bathroom yet. So I'm going to go and grab a window here and just push it maybe 2 feet away from the wall like that. And then I'll do the same thing here with a skylight. So I'll grab a skylight, and whoa, it's huge. So I'll maybe make it 2 feet by 3 feet like that. And we'll also push this the same distance away from the wall. And now we have a nice little skylight here. And the last thing that I haven't done yet are the materials. So if you look at this style here, you can see it's a very timbery, comfy look. And with exterior as well, we've also got an exterior timber cladding. So I'll just go into my materials here, and I will apply some cladding materials. So let's say we'll grab some timber cladding like this, and we'll also make sure that the flashings are not actually metal flashings, but it's just a wraparound timber. So we'll make that work like this. And then for the interior, we'll just change all of our interior materials to fit the same. So for example, my cabinetry carcasses all become this color here. And then my interior walls should also become, what do we want to do? Maybe we want to do a ply lining like this. There we go. And we'll do the same thing for the ceiling. So it's a nice and cozy kind of look. But there we go. So that's the design itself. And now the important bit comes, which is generating the plans. I'll show you what that looks like. So I'll click the Generate Plans button, and now it generates a full set of PDF tiny house plans for me. And now it's downloaded for me. There we go. And this is the tiny house that I've just designed. So rather than drafting manually, which you would do in regular programs, that's why you hire a draftsperson, the software does it all for you. So it's fully automatic, and you can now use these plans to then communicate with a builder or DIY off, or just shelve these plans for later and keep working on your concept. And this is the floor plan that it exports. So it shows the sides of the tiny house, where all of the windows and doors go, where the cabinets are. Then the same thing for the loft here. Then we've got the roof plan showing where the skylight goes. And then we've got all of the elevations showing where the doors and windows go. And then we've got the sections as well. And then we've got the door and window schedule as well. So just as a quick note, we have a software that's also more advanced for businesses. So we have things like cabinetry plans, electrical plans, a full takeoff for material lists, a render tool, and all that kind of stuff. So if you're a business and you want to speed up your process, let me know. We can chat afterwards. But yeah, so that is how the software works. So I'm going to go back to my presentation here. So I'll just quickly close this down and go back in here to my slideshow. So there we go. Let's sum it up then. So where's my slide? There we go. Yeah, so now it's your turn. And to actually use this software yourself, I will show you how to get that. So I'll just quickly tab out one more time, and I'll just quickly go in here and open a new tab, and I will just look for Tiny Easy. That is our business or our business name, and it's tinyeasy.co.nz. And what you can do, you can sign up for a free account. And it is a free trial for the first 7 days, so you can try it out and see if it's right for you. And we even have a tutorial or a full course, a full free video course that teaches you how to use the software. So if you go into Learn and then into the tutorials up here, you can see a perfect picture of my face. Thank you. That's great. And you can see a lot of different videos here that teach you all of the different tools in the software, which you can then use to design your own tiny house. All right, so that is how you can sign up for the software. And just to, as a quick reminder, the software itself after the free trial costs just $12 a month. So if you think about it, you're going to hire a draft person, it's probably going to cost you $60 to $100 an hour, something like that. So if you're just designing your tiny house for a couple months, it's already worth it, and you're able to toy around with the design to make it perfect for you. So we try to keep it super affordable for the personal version. All right, so that's how that works. To go back to my presentation, I will skip the summary. I think it is a quick enough talk so that we don't have to go into it. One thing that I wanted to say, if you have tried out the software and you think it's right for you, I have created a coupon code which gives you 50% off for the first 2 months. And there's only 20 codes available, so make sure to note it down. So it's Tiny Conference 2023, and you can use that later when you see that's the right fit for you, but there's only 20 available, so make sure to get those quickly. All right, that's it. So we've got 3 minutes. There we go. Let's go into the questions and answers section. And now I can actually see Zoom for the first time again. All right, we have 40 comments. All right, let's go. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Olianka. That's really kind of you. Thank you so much. All right, I'll just quickly go to the top. Hello. A lot of hello. Hello, everyone. That's at the start still. Yes, there's you said that we should introduce each other. Yes, perfect. Yeah, let's keep in touch afterwards. And there we go. Hey Till, hello. Hey Josh. Oh, hey Josh. Nice to see you. There we go. I already answered if the software is free or not. There we go. Do you have a discount? Well, I already answered that. It's just $12. It's free to use for the first 7 days. That's right. Do you offer a review or a design service? So to make sure that the design is sound. Yeah, so what we do when it comes to the personal version, we have a lot of tutorials that teach you how to design a tiny house, and we're going to add more and more inspiration and tutorials there. We'd love to offer this. It's just we're a team of 4, so we can't do personalized service for everyone because we also have to keep developing the software, but we've got lots of tutorials up there. And there we go. You've already put in the link there as well for the pricing. Thanks, Deb. Does the program offer a flush toilet option? So we just have a toilet, so that is either a flush toilet or a compost toilet. It's just kind of a placeholder, really. You couldn't get the software to work on the Chromebook. Yeah, I think we fixed that. So I actually did that myself. So that is a thing that we saw. We just blocked the Chrome OS on accident. So I think we removed that. So just try that out. Otherwise, give me a message and we'll try to figure that out. The business plan, Nick, we'll just connect, and it just depends on the size of your business. And we always just, tailor the subscription for your business to make sure that it's perfect for you. So love to have a chat after. So I'll reach out to you. And a lot of claps. Can you use this for draft permitting processes? So we have an export feature, so you can actually export the 3D model and then give it to an architect in your local area. And that's it. Okay, I've done it. It's exactly 11:30. So thank you so much. I will reach out to everyone afterwards who has put their contact in this chat. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And make sure to check out the software if you think you might want to try it out. And if you have any questions, just reach out to me at contact@tinyeasy.co.nz. So that's my own email there. So just reach out to me there if you have any more questions. All right. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. And Matt of Elsewhere can take it away right after. I think he's stoked to jump on the presentation.